Hello everybody and welcome back to Parkitect in another time-lapse episode. And I know that you guys favor this over the normal episodes, and this is why I also started to record all the building phases and the building process of my scenarios here in Parkitect as well, and I'm doing some time lapses of it. And here are the good news. This park took that long that I actually have 2 episodes worth of material for you guys, and it's not that I really wanted to make so much out of it, it's just that it was like over 4 hours of material, and I still managed to finish that park within the actual time frame given by the scenario. So I even completed everything within the optional goals of making it within year 3, I believe it was, or something. But I have to say, I also learned a few things over the course of this park over here. I can already tell you this is by far the best park I have built so far in the scenario series here, and it made me really wanting to start a sandbox park again in Parkitect. Not yet, but maybe as soon as I've moved to my new flat and as soon as a few things have been settled and I've gotten a little bit more time in the evenings, also streaming for you guys and stuff like that, I am really willing to bring more of this as a sandbox park, sandbox series to you guys. However, I somehow want to make this all a bit more fun for you. I don't know if that makes sense, because I feel like the overall interaction on the Parkitect videos recently dropped a little bit, because I'm pretty much aware of the fact that you have seen most of the scenarios already here on many various channels online, for example Sylph or Geekism or whatever. It makes total sense to me that there is not too much you can really talk about here on the scenario itself. But I have to say, this was at least the scenario that actually it kind of was the hardest so far. It was not hard actually, but it was the hardest out of the many scenarios that I've played already. I think it's scenario number 10 or something. Thus far, I have to say, Parkitect is still keeping to blow, or it's still blowing my mind. I have to put it that way. This game is a 9.5 out of 10 for me, like, or maybe even 9.8 out of 10. However, I want to make this episode now more of a really nice episode in terms of what you guys can come up with, whatever. I want to know what your favorite theme park is and why. I really want to know what is your local theme park and your first go-to theme park, I should say. Reason for this being is that I'm trying to collect a few things and a few parks, and I really want to incorporate some of the elements of those parks you guys are naming in my upcoming series of Parkitect, but also Planet Coaster, because spoiler ahead, there will be a new Planet Coaster series. And yes, please don't get me wrong, it is, as I've already said beforehand, my main focus will still be Isla Napali, which is always the one and only big series on my channel I can really keep up with 2 times, 3 times a week. But there will be another project which is this is a project I've been wanting to do for over a year now, but there were a few things why I didn't start that, and I have to say, it is something that has never been done on YouTube with Planet Coaster before, and this is, I'm really sure about that. I even checked that. It's not been done, and it will be super cool for the interaction and for many reasons. I won't talk about this. On Wednesday, the first episode will drop, but I really want to get your feedback in already of your main go-to parks. I will talk about that in the next Parkitect episode, but also in the Planet Coaster new series, whatever this will be. I'm not gonna spoil too much here, because this will be very interesting, and I hope to be able to bring in some of the things you guys are talking about in the comments. And please make sure that you leave your park in there. And also, if you want to go even more into, tell me why you like that park, tell me what's your favorite coaster in there, and is that the park you've been the first time in your life, or is this only because it's the closest one to your living spot or to your home, so to say. I don't know, so it would be very cool. Maybe just to kick that all off, I can already tell you that my park to go is Phantasialand, because it's the closest park I can go to. Actually, in terms of distance, the movie park Germany, or what was the Warner Bros. Movie World a few years ago, is simply as close as Phantasialand, but over the last couple of years it changed so dramatically that there is, like, if you need to choose, there's like no comparison between these two parks. Phantasialand is by miles better than the movie park Germany, and so I'm really always willing to go there. However, the park I've been most to in my life is Disneyland Paris. Actually, I've been over 10 times to Disneyland Paris, and I believe Phantasialand 9 times or something. I've been to the movie park in general like 8 times maybe, so it comes really close, but this is only down to the reason that I've been there, I think 3 times a year, because I got like not really one, but from school or something, we went there one time, and then we went there another time with friends, and at the end of the year, I guess it was like a present to my birthday or whatever. So yeah, there were a few reasons why we went there, and they had for a time a very cool Halloween special. I think they still have it, but even this special can't be good enough to make me go there again, simply because they just changed so many things. They had a coaster a few years ago, which was by far my favorite coaster in Germany, which was called Lethal Weapon, or the Police Academy Cop Car Chase Coaster. It was a dueling coaster. If I'm not mistaken, was it a Intermin or gas blower? I have no... Wait. I totally forgot what that was, to be honest. Or was it a mag ride? I have no idea what kind of ride that was. But it was a dueling coaster. It was super cool. It was kind of mimicking a police cop car chase race with having one coaster themed to the bandit, and the other one was, themed to be the police car. So it was really cool, and had some super cool dueling elements. It has like a loop. It had also a loop where a car exploded in the middle. So quite a few things that actually, turned out to be super cool. But however, I just wanted to kick that off and wanted to make sure that you guys can be a bit more active, and that I can give you a reason to actually comment something down below in the description. So yeah, I would really love to hear what your go-to park is, and what's the park you're going to the most, and why, and so on and whatnot. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing in the background. So yeah, as I said, I learned a few things about Parkitect in this over the course of this scenario. I loved this scenario in general because it was challenging to build this area in the way it was set up, with all these little lakes and stuff, but at the same time I wanted to maintain a somewhat realistic layout. I wanted to make sure to fulfill the goals. So I think the scenario was pretty tough here in terms of guest count, and also there was the satisfaction rate of over 70%, which is pretty hard to achieve once you have to start to cover basically all the backstage areas. So also money-wise, this park was a little bit tough, since you had not that much money. Obviously, like always, you're starting with 25,000, but there was just a little bit of a limited amount of attractions you can build from it. So I was willing to get a lot of loans at the beginning, and some debits. The problem though is also one of the main targets of the scenario is to be free of any debts. So it was a little bit more on the making money work for you side of things in this scenario, which I always love, because it's always something more challenging once you do not have enough money, and once you get some money from the bank and you have it on loan. The thing about that is that you have to pay interest and stuff, so you always have to make sure that you see that these attractions you're going to build from the money you got from the bank is always invested to bring out more money in the end from the attractions you place down. So if you take, for example, 10,000 and you only put down, I don't know, some scenery for it, you potentially will get bankrupt sometimes, because you won't get any more guests through it, or you won't get any more kind of payments and you know, income from rides or attractions. So you always have to make sure that there is at least one big coaster or whatnot that makes a shit ton of money. And so I was building for these new money sources I got from the bank, that I put down another coaster to make sure that people are joining the park and actually riding that coaster, where you can really increase the entry prices and make the value of the coaster for your park a lot better than what it was without. However, I also wanted to make sure this time that the whole park is really, really nicely themed. So I think it's not only my best park, but also my most themed scenario park yet. I always kept it to this yeah, tiny bit Hawaiian wood and inspired design. I made these roofs a little beige looking, which should somehow resemble thatch roof. I think what the scenario wanted to give us is like only a normal kind of plastic-y roof colored in this greenish yellow tint. I wanted to go with a little bit more beige tint, and I used I don't even know what kind of panels the roof panels are, but I wanted to also incorporate a little bit of a more roundish shape to the roof, simply because I felt to give it a tiny bit of Asian touch, because that's also what you would see in Hawaii. And since Isla Nopali is giving me the inspiration at the moment, I thought, why not just go with it? But I'm also very happy to focus on another theme in the next scenario again, which is also started already. If you have seen some of my other episodes on Parkitect, you will potentially know that there is also a second scenario running at the same time. But yeah, as you can tell from the background, there's a lot going on. At the moment we are theming the log flume ride, which was, as I said, one of the things that should make me a lot of money, and is relatively cheap to place, and relatively easy also to theme. And also this time I was thinking of putting music on all rides and stuff like that to really increase the satisfaction rate. Also, what you can see is, and maybe I should not say also like a million times in this episode, you can also see, there we go again, that there is a lot of rain in this park, which leads to the fact that most of the rides do not make you that much money once it's raining, and this is why I tried to cover some of them up. However, it's not that easy with some of the flat rides, because they're moving quite a bit, and this is why you can't really cover them up. But with those I could do this, for example, the scissor and stuff like that, or the twister. I don't know why I just used the Planko wording for it here, to make sure that people still go onto that ride once it's raining. But that's pretty much about it. Most of the rides, unfortunately, are not usable once it's raining, and it's quite often raining in that park. So this is also a challenge, and hence I was trying to put the research on making me some more shop options available, which then leads to having umbrellas. And yeah, it took a while until I got umbrellas finally, which is a shame, because I could have used them way before. However, yeah, it's turning out to be great, but I had to split that in 2 episodes. I hope that the footage is not sped up too much. It's now sped up by 8 times, which I felt was already quite a bit. I think it's still okay, but due to a feedback also from City Skylines, I believe that this is the maximum I can do. Otherwise, this gets really distracting and really annoying to watch. But, you know, just give me some feedback on that, and I may change the next episode according to your feedback, and hope that this will be better. But there are still 2 hours of footage left until I can go into the real-time part, because you obviously, as always, will get a real-time part of this as well. There's no question about that, because I want you to show the whole progress and how the park is floating and flowing in real time. I am pretty proud of this park, I have to say. It has a nice vibe. It has somewhat of a realistic layout. It's not super realistic as, you know, making a complete sandbox park where you can look into every single detail, but it's I don't know, it's something I really enjoy, because this scenario really was a lot of fun. I listened to another Harry Potter podcast while I was building, and I played this 4 hours straight, which was one of the best experiences in terms of gaming recently. It was really getting back into the game and just playing the game. Like, no designing or no, I don't know, looking up of images and stuff, how I always do for Planet Coaster. It was just purely playing a game, and this is what I love Parkitect for. I tend to just say that in every episode again and again and again, but I have to say it can be repeated a million times and it never gets old or wrong, because this game is just purely awesome. And I hope that more of you guys will enjoy these episodes on the channel, because I really hope to transport the awesomeness of the game. But that's it for this episode. I hope to see you next time and have a great time. Bye guys.